Good evening. The voters have spoken, but tonight, America is a nation deeply divided by the shock election result. For the millions of people who voted for Donald Trump, millions did not, and many of those have taken their anger to the streets. We have extensive coverage from our reporters. We begin tonight with Laura Turner in New York.
It was a house call by demonstrators surrounding the home of the next US president. From Trump Tower in New York to the streets of Seattle, unprecedented scenes a day after Donald Trump's election victory. A vocal protest vote that quickly gained momentum. Democrat towns rose up. Chicago, Portland, Oakland, Berkeley. But they were a day late. The race had been run and won, and for the loser, what was meant to be a party became a post-mortem. Hillary Clinton had to be dragged to it.
Please join me in welcoming Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton.
12 hours after blowing the unlosable election, she emerged with a brave face and uttered the unthinkable.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for, and I'm sorry that we did not win this election.
And then the unbelievable.
Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him an open mind and the chance to lead.
And while she was fired, he was hired. The host of The Apprentice, billionaire and now president-elect, spent the day in his tower, just maybe wondering, what does he do now? His victory stunned the world.
So, it's been what they call a historic event. But to be really historic, we have to do a great job. And I promise you that I will not let you down. We will do a great job.
An election pledge was to build a wall, and on day one he was protected by one, leaving his campaign manager to preach to the unconverted.
Give this guy a chance. Give him a chance as your president-elect, like we all did with President Obama and we all did with President Bill Clinton.
Across town, the woman who wanted to be Madam President was hurting more than ever.
This is painful, and it will be for a long time. But I want you to remember this. Our campaign was never about one person or even one election. It was about the country we love and about building an America that's hopeful, inclusive, and big-hearted.
Hillary Clinton may have lost the ballot, but she clearly won the female vote, and she honoured them.
I want you to know that nothing has made me prouder than to be your champion. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
Her supporters wiped away tears. Standing by her, husband Bill, who she tried to match. He applauded her and supported her. That's my girl, he says. But the Clinton name is being blamed for her downfall. It represents the establishment, and voters revolted against it. Not a backlash, but a white lash.
The biggest group is simply white men. Look at the margin among white men. 63% for Trump, just 31% for Hillary Clinton.
The outcome has set up a meeting at the White House between America's first black president and a billionaire.
It is no secret that the president-elect and I have some pretty significant differences. But remember, 8 years ago, President Bush and I had some pretty significant differences.
He urged Americans to forget the past and together look to the future.
We are now all rooting for his success in uniting and leading the country. The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. And over the next few months, we are going to show that to the world.
unifying the country after what was one of the nastiest, most unpredictable campaigns in US political history will be hard to achieve, but the result stands. Donald Trump will be commander-in-chief. To many, though, he's a racist, a sexist and a bigot, unfit to be leader of the free world.
The protesters have vowed to march on, and the final stop will be Washington, January 20, the day Donald Trump takes over.
OK, let's check in with US correspondent Laura Turner, who's near Trump Tower tonight. Laura, have the protests in New York died down yet?
Yes, good evening to you, Peter. It has just gone 2 a.m. here in New York City and police have finally been able to move on those thousands of protesters who blocked Fifth Avenue right out the front of Trump Tower for hours today. There is still a huge security presence here right now. We can't get anywhere near Trump Tower. We're actually around the road behind a roadblock. But all of those thousands of protesters, they represent millions of Americans who cannot stand the thought of a Trump presidency, and many of them have vowed to be back here at first light.
Laura, thank you.